I'm frozen. I think I was frozen, so I'll try this over again. Good morning, guys, or good afternoon. Actually, it's 1:44. It is July 6th. I hope everybody had a great 4th of July. We did lots of barbecue and things like that. I want to send heartfelt, warm wishes for a friend of ours who's like a family who passed on the 4th of July, and his name was Wesley May. And I don't know if anybody in his family or whatever will ever see this, but I just want to say that he was a terrific guy. Caught us all by surprise. But if you know Wes, you would know he wanted to go out with a bang. So that's how he did. Today I'm doing a reading on Big Sean, of all people. Someone I'm not necessarily particularly interested in, but his relationship situations have been out there, and he's got some nice music out there. Actually, more so than what I thought. But we know he was going with Naya Rivera. If you don't know her, she started off, I remember, as a very young child actor, and then she was on Glee. I don't know if Glee is still on or not. And then out of the blue, he started going out with Ariana Grande, which that seemed real weird to me. It seemed like, boy, these are two completely different people. One is a woman, and one seemed like a little girl to me, but they're not together anymore, anyways. So let's take a look at him. His birthday is March 25th, 1988. He comes across to us as a number one person. So he seems like he's always about himself. His everything is about him. It just appears that way, but that's not really so. Actually, he is an incredible planner, thinker, leader. People naturally gravitate to him and naturally will follow along with the things that he says. It just comes natural for him to be an alpha dog, believe it or not. Growing up, he was all about want to be in the spotlight, whether he was at school or things like that or in the neighborhood. I'm not sure. He's from Detroit, FYI. But he wanted to be out there for sure. He wanted the limelight. He was an excellent communicator, which tells you about his writing. His raps are, they're fairly lyrical or metaphorical, so that's good for him. Now he has moved into a number 7. This is the time of life where he's going to want to have, you know what, actually more alone time. He's going to be sort of a mixed bag. He's going to want that alone time. He's going to want to focus on, you might think, the rap game and that, because when you're in that 7 phase, you do want to focus on things. But he's going to be much more mysterious. He's not going to be out there with his relationships because he's been drug across Twitter for these people that he's dealt with, and so for that he's over with. But he's not done with relationships. Excuse me. He wants to be in a relationship with someone who is fun and freedom loving and likes to travel and can pick up and go at the drop of a hat. Very spontaneous. Person who thinks outside the box, is willing to try new and exciting things. And that's great on one hand. Who wouldn't love someone like that? However, he will still have this tendency to want to be by himself. And if you get with someone who's a fun, freedom, free spirit, loves to come and go, loves to travel, loves life, loves laughter and talking, and then here you are wanting to be by yourself a lot, that's not going to work out well. So he's going to have to try to work around that. And perhaps that's one of his challenges, to say that it's okay for me to be by myself. It's okay for me to be a bit mysterious. It's okay for me to not be as much of a talker, but I've got to be there and I've got to feed this type of person that you want in your life, because he doesn't like a lot of drama, actually. So he's like someone who goes with the flow. So if they go with the flow, it might work out because they might be so involved in their own life and what they're doing. They don't have time to try to keep up with him. So we'll see how that goes. Um, he is not, though, as he appears at all. He's a number 9 life path. And a number 9 life path is a very spiritual person. They are a true humanitarian. They're compassionate. They're generous. They don't look for what's your flaws, but they do like to fix broken winged birds. That's why he was attracted to the ladies he's been with. They were okay, but you could tell from their energy that they had I don't know, like a weakness of some sort or an immaturity level, and he thought he could be there for them, but he has a issue with relationships in that he will quit a relationship at any rough path. Like many adults will have a relationship, you hit a rough path and you figure it out. Okay. Or even if that means you got to take a break away from it for a minute and get back together. Remember what we are here for. Not him. He'll quit that relationship and move on whenever it hits a rough path. So he's got to learn to understand that relationships are where you grow the most, and managing those relationships and seeing yourself as that person being a reflection of you, good or bad. If it's good, great, keep working on it. If it's not something you like, then that must be in you and you need to work on that too. But every time you quit the relationship, you don't grow. So he's got to be sticking to that. But like I said, he is generous, compassionate. That is why sometimes his money can be funny, because he's giving it out. I know he has been a very strong advocate for Detroit and getting money to Detroit and getting some books into these kids' hands, which is great, and that is just who he is. He's quite selfless, actually. He appears on the outside to be selfish or all about him, but really he's quite selfless and friendly. He'll give the shirt off his back to anybody that needs it. He's a nurturing type of person. He is a caregiver. You can call him up. You may not have talked to him for 2 or 3 years, and he's going to be there for you. The one thing that Sean has to work on is making sure that he's doing what his spirit wants him to do. You can be a rapper, and that's great. But on the real, how are you using that platform? What are you doing? What are you saying? What differences are you making in people's lives by the way that you carry yourself? And it can't be you hating drama, but you always drawn in the drama. And if he doesn't use his God-given gifts, like speaking, writing, he could write a book. He could be a great spiritual leader in the community. People would follow behind him. But if he doesn't do what his spirit calls, even if he makes a lot of money, he's always going to be dissatisfied. It's always going to feel like, is this all that there is? And so I would tell him to make sure that he focuses on that. And then lastly, this year for him is a number 9 year he's gone into. And number 9, whether it's your life path or your year, it's a year about closings and endings and allowing those things to pass out of your life. It isn't in that negative sense, endings, it's over. It just simply means that you've graduated from that level of what you were supposed to be learning, and now it's time for you to move on to your next lessons. And he's going to have to look at it like that forever, for the rest of his life. But this year is going to be a heavy focus on that, where relationships are going to end and friendships are going to end. And there's going to be some people that he thinks that are down and in his corner are not going to necessarily be there, or they're not going to pick up that phone when you need them to, and you're going to feel a bit hurt or betrayed about that. I don't know if he moves around a lot, but he's definitely got a big move coming from him this year or next year, a big physical move, like pick up his things and move away from his current city, which I'm not sure where that is. But he definitely has that coming. You can expect to see for him in the next couple of years I believe more rap as it comes to on a platform. What's happening in America? What's happening in our society, in our community as the Black community, community as global community, children, things like that. And that'll be really good for him, and that'll be closer to who he is and what his spirit is going to call him to do. And he's going to do that no matter what, because the universe will do it. If he doesn't, the universe will do it. If he wants to get out and make funsy raps and stuff, he's going to be blocked. And he won't be able to think clearly on writing in his material. But when he gets into writing on that spiritual aspect and using his rap platform for that, he'll be fantastic. Anyways, good luck to you, Big Sean, and you guys have a great afternoon. And if you like it, subscribe, thumbs up, comment. I love your comments. And nice to see you again. It's been a while. Have a great day.